Hello, welcome to another Inkscape for Teachers video. In this video I'll be showing you how to use an Inkscape extension to take faces that you draw as rectangles and map them to an isometric solid. Now first of all, a few bits of information you must go through. You need an Inkscape extension called Isometric Projection. Do a search for Inkscape extensions, then from that page look for Isometric Projection. Download that, and the two key files are these two, the INX and the PY file. They need to be copied to the Inkscape extensions folder, which for Windows would typically be C, Programs, Inkscape, Share, Extensions. Once they're there, restart Inkscape and they'll be available in the menu that I'll show you in a minute. Now when we're constructing the faces, they need to follow these rules to match up so that they fit together down here. I'll show you how we go about that, but basically we do the first one, we can duplicate that, drag it upwards, duplicate this one, and then squash it inwards or outwards. I'll show you starting from scratch, and we'll apply the extension as indicated there. So I'll go over here. Oops, that's from something else. Let's start with a rectangle. Let's say that one, give it a pink fill and maybe bump up the border to 1.5 millimeters. Okay, Control D to duplicate that, and as I said, let's drag that one upwards. Control D to duplicate that, and Control drag. Let's alter the width of this one, in or out. No, actually, sorry, I tell a lie. This one must be adjusted so that its width dimension matches the height of the first one, so that looks about right. I can go back and check the height of this one, and it looks like it's 51.85. I can copy that, and we'll make that the width of this one. See, it's close. 51. Oh, I can just paste, can't I? Control V and enter. Okay. Let's just change some of these colours. Okay. Now let's apply the extension. Oh, actually, before we do that, if you want to put some text on it as well, or a shape, let's do a triangle from the polygon tool. Actually, it doesn't have to be a triangle. It can be any shape. It can be a star even. Let's make it a 5-pointed star. I'll drag that out. And let's make it let's make it black so it'll stand out in the background. And look, I might just rotate that, click it a second time, rotate it around so that it looks pretty horizontal where it's sitting on its feet. Okay, I'll click on that separately and drag that down, and let's put that down in the bottom right hand corner, for example. Now let's create some text. T for the text tool, and type a word. Might change the font to something a bit blockier, and maybe make it bold. Selection tool, and let's do that. Let's put it up the top there. And finally, let's do some circles. E for the ellipse tool. This would have been handy when I was trying to create some isometric dice. I'll give it a black fill and Control D, Control D. I might align and distribute those. Let's space them out vertically, align them all with each other. Oops, that was to the page. Control Z. Last selected is a good idea. Line them up on the vertical centre. Control G to group, and let's put those there. Now another point is that everything should be grouped. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't if you don't group them, but it's better to group, I think. So Control G to select all that and group it, marquee, and Control G, marquee, Control G. So now these are all groups. Now let's have a look at the extension. Click on one of the faces, or the one you want for the top, say. Extensions, Axonometric Projection, Isometric Projection. Click on the top, apply and close, and there's our top. We'll go through and do the same, but for the other faces. This one the left, apply and close, and finally the last one, which will make the right hand face. Okay, so you can see that the star is isometrically aligned, as is the text, and even the circles are turned into, I guess, ellipses stretched in the direction of the dilation, I guess you'd say. So there's a pretty good effort at an isometric shape. Saves a lot of time, I think. Of course it's going to happen during a video, and I'll just pause and get the power going. Okay, I'm plugged in. Now just looking at these corners, you can see that's pretty untidy. So with them all selected, I'll go to the fill and stroke. Actually, no, they're not grouped. Oh, sorry, they are grouped. The individual faces are grouped. So what I might do is ungroup everything, or I could control click to select a face. Actually, I won't ungroup. I'll just control click and control shift click the individual faces, and that selects everything but not the text. And it hasn't worked. Try again, control click that. Let's do them one at a time, and try a bevel, I think there. Control click that one, bevel corners, control click that one, beveled corner. If you see, zoom in, that's a lot neater now. Okay, so yes, I really like the way the text is automatically axiometrically aligned, or isometrically aligned, and shapes as well. So that's a terrific extension. I highly recommend you download that if you want to do some realistic drawings. I might make the subject of another video how to do say 2-point perspective shapes and map text and shapes to those faces. But until then, bye for now.